What if you had taken a crumpled $100 bill in 2011 and bought Bitcoin, not stocks, not gold, but Bitcoin? Here is exactly what would have happened, and the number at the end will break your brain. It is early 2011. Bitcoin has been around for about 2 years, and almost nobody knows what it is. The price? About $1 per coin, just one single dollar. That means your $100 would have bought you roughly 100 whole Bitcoins. Not a fraction, not 30 cents worth, but 100 full coins sitting in a digital wallet. To put that in perspective, a savings account in 2011 paid roughly 0.5% interest, meaning your $100 would have made you 50 cents a year, just 50 cents. But getting Bitcoin in 2011 was not easy at all. There were no apps, no Coinbase. You had to find sketchy forums, wire money to strangers, and basically trust the internet. Brave or crazy? Let us say you figured it out. You have got your 100 Bitcoin, you write down your password on a sticky note, stick it on your monitor, and go on with your life. Fast forward just a few months to June 2011, and Bitcoin goes on its very first big bull run, with the price rocketing from $1 all the way up to about $32 per coin in just a few months. Your 100 coins are now worth $3,200. You put in $100 and now have $3,200, which is a 3,100% gain in just a few months. And your friends think you are a genius. Here is the first gut punch moment, because would you have sold? $3,200 from $100 is life-changing for most people, and the temptation to cash out right there would have been enormous. Most people who were actually in Bitcoin in 2011 sold right there, took the profit, celebrated, and then watched in horror as the story kept going completely without them. But let us say you are brave or just stubborn, so you hold, and then comes the crash. Because by the end of 2011, Bitcoin collapses from $32 all the way down to about $2, which is a 94% drop. Your $3,200 is now worth about $200. And while you technically doubled your money from the original 100, you just watched $3,000 vanish, and that hurts differently. The internet is screaming that Bitcoin is dead, news articles are writing obituaries for it, and your mom is sending you articles saying she told you so, making this the absolute darkest hour. But here is what those obituaries completely missed. Because Bitcoin did not die. It never died. It just went quiet like a monster waiting under the bed. And then 2012 happened. In November 2012, something called the Bitcoin halving happened for the very first time, where the rate at which new coins are created got cut in half. And basic economics tells us that less supply means prices eventually go up. Through 2012 and into early 2013, Bitcoin quietly climbed back. First to $5, then $10, then $20. And your $200 worth of coins was creeping back up, making you start to feel better. Then April 2013 hit, and Bitcoin exploded to $266 per coin in a matter of weeks, making your 100 coins suddenly worth $26,600. Then, as you might have guessed, another crash, with Bitcoin dropping back down to around $50 within weeks, turning $26,600 into $5,000, and people called it a bubble all over again. This is the pattern. This is the Bitcoin roller coaster. Rocket up, slam down, repeat, and most people get thrown off while only the stubborn few hold on and end up filthy rich. But you are still holding, still clutching that sticky note with your password, and then comes the end of 2013, which is where things get genuinely ridiculous. November and December 2013, Bitcoin goes absolutely parabolic and hits $1,000 per coin, making your 100 Bitcoin now worth $100,000, $100,000. That is 1,000 times return on your original $100. And if you had put that same $100 in a savings account in 2011, by now you would have roughly $103.50. So, savings account fans, I am truly sorry. Now here is the twist, and this is where it gets genuinely cruel, because after hitting $1,000, Bitcoin crashes hard again. And by early 2015, it is down to about $170 per coin, an 83% drop, turning your $100,000 into $17,000. Still $17,000 from $100, which is still incredible. But just imagine watching $100,000 become $17,000, because most people on Earth would have sold right there, crying into their cereal. But our hypothetical hero, which is you, holds on, and 2015 and 2016 are quiet years where Bitcoin slowly heals and climbs back to $500, then $700, then $1,000 again by early 2017. And then 2017 happens, the year that changed everything, the year normal people started Googling Bitcoin, and the year your aunt asked you about it at Thanksgiving dinner. Bitcoin starts 2017 at roughly $1,000, and by December it hits almost $20,000 per coin, which is a 2,000% gain in a single year. And your 100 coins are worth $2 million. $2 million from $100, that is not an investment return, that is a superpower. That is buying a lottery ticket and having it print money for 7 straight years. For comparison, if you had put that same $100 into an S&P 500 index fund in 2011, by the end of 2017, you would have roughly $300, which is a great investment. But $300 versus $2 million, come on. But remember the pattern? Up, then smash, because 2018 is brutal, with Bitcoin cratering from $20,000 all the way down to about $3,200 by December. An 84% crash that turns your $2 million into $320,000. Still $320,000 from $100, still an absolute miracle. But you watched nearly $1,700,000 disappear in 12 months. And that kind of loss would physically hurt most human beings. 2019 sees Bitcoin recover to around $7,000, and then 2020 hits with a global pandemic, economic chaos, and somehow Bitcoin absolutely loves chaos, ending 2020 at roughly $29,000. Your 100 coins at $29,000 each comes out to $2,900,000, putting you almost back to the 2017 peak. And then 2021 decides to completely obliterate everyone's expectations. April 2021, Bitcoin reaches $64,000 per coin, making your 100 Bitcoin worth $6,400,000, $6,400,000 from $100. Just let that sink in for a second. Then Bitcoin dips back to around $30,000 in mid-2021. But then in November 2021, it goes even higher, hitting its then all-time high of roughly $69,000 per coin. At $69,000 per coin, your 100 Bitcoin are worth $6,900,000. Nearly $7 million from one crumpled $100 bill you found in your old jeans pocket. But we need to talk about something very real here, which is taxes. Because in most countries, crypto gains are fully taxable, and at $7 million in gains, you would owe a massive tax bill, potentially millions of dollars straight to the government. And then, as you already know, 2022 arrives, bringing the crypto winter, with Bitcoin crashing from $69,000 all the way down to about $16,000. An enormous 77% drop that shakes the entire industry. Your $6,900,000 becomes roughly $1,600,000, which is brutal and painful. but still 16,000 times your original $100 investment, meaning you are still a millionaire from $100. Then 2023 brings a recovery, with Bitcoin climbing back to $40,000 and beyond. And in 2024, Bitcoin gets approved for ETFs, institutional money floods in, and it shatters all of its old records. In early 2024, Bitcoin smashes through $70,000, then $80,000, then $90,000. And at its peak in 2024, it touched roughly $100,000 per coin. At $100,000 per Bitcoin, which it actually reached, your 100 coins are worth $10 million. $10 million. $10 million from $100. That is a 10 million% return. And if returns were a building, a savings account would be 1 inch tall, while Bitcoin from 2011 would be taller than Mount Everest by a very long way. To put it another way, that same $100 in gold in 2011 would be worth maybe $250 today, in Apple stock roughly $2,000, and both are great results. But Bitcoin delivers $10 million. So it is genuinely not even a fair comparison. Now let us play the game everyone plays, which is what if you had sold at the perfect time, because selling all 100 coins at the $69,000 peak in November 2021 would have meant walking away with $6,900,000. Life changed forever. But nobody sells at the perfect top, and that is the dirty secret. Because real humans are not robots. And when it hits $10,000, you think it will hit $20,000. And when it hits $20,000, you think $100,000 is coming. And when it crashes, you think it will recover, and you will sell when it gets back up. And sometimes it does recover, but sometimes you spend another 2 years just staring at red charts. Here is the real enemy, which is the password. Because roughly 20% of all Bitcoin in existence is estimated to be permanently lost due to people forgetting passwords, losing hard drives, or throwing away computers, with billions gone forever. Remember that sticky note with your password on it? Because if you lost it, your $10 million is just sitting there locked away forever, like digital gold in a vault that nobody can open, including you. There are real people who bought Bitcoin for pennies in 2011 and now have locked wallets worth millions of dollars today, meaning they can actually see the money but simply cannot touch it. And that is a truly special kind of agony. So what is the actual lesson here? It is not just buy crypto. It is really about what you are willing to hold through the crashes that feel permanent, through the family members telling you that you are an idiot, through watching it fall 80, 85, 94%, through the news calling it dead, through years of complete silence. Because the people who made generational wealth from Bitcoin did not just buy it, they survived it. Let us recap the full wild ride. 2011, you buy 100 Bitcoin for $100. 2013, it is worth $100,000 as the first massive test. 2015, it crashes to $17,000. 2017, it screams to $2 million. And 2018, it falls back to $320,000. 2021, it peaks at $6,900,000. 2022, it drops to $1,600,000. And in 2024, Bitcoin hits $100,000 per coin, making your 100 coins worth $10 million. And that is the full story of your $100. Now here is the question that will haunt you tonight in bed. Bitcoin still exists. The next halving already happened in 2024, and some analysts believe we have not seen the real ceiling yet. So what comes next? Nobody knows, and that uncertainty is both the terror and the thrill of it. Because every revolution in history looked completely obvious in hindsight and totally insane while it was actually happening. In 2011, putting $100 into Bitcoin looked completely insane. like just burning your money for fun. And for most of the next 2 years, it kind of was, because timing and nerve, that is really all it came down to. The brutal, honest truth is that studies show over 90% of people who bought Bitcoin early sold way too soon. And while the $10 million story is technically true, almost no one actually lived it all the way through. So we will ask you directly, hand on your heart, if you had bought $100 of Bitcoin in 2011 and watched it hit $3,200 in just a few months, would you have held on, or would you have cashed out, bought something nice, and missed absolutely everything? Drop your answer in the comments, and if you want to see more, what if money stories that will make your head spin, then subscribe because we have got plenty more where this came from, and we will see you in the next one.